The man that God has for you ain't gonna play about you. It ain't no other way to put it.
You are watching a master at work.
Hey y'all, welcome to the Christian Bae TV where Christ and Culture connects. I pray that you guys are having a wonderful day. As you guys see from the title, today we're talking about masculine characteristics that every woman should consider letting go. I don't want to say should let go, but you should probably consider it. Like, I don't want to say should because I don't want to sound like I'm an expert or I know everything. I'm just sharing my opinion and the wisdom and the knowledge that God has given me. But I'm not trying to be telling nobody what to do like I'm a licensed professional. Like, this is just what God has shown me on my journey. So today we're going to be discussing those 3 masculine characteristics that I feel like every woman should let go of in order to be the girlfriend, the spouse, the wife that God is calling you to be. Now, I first want to start off with explaining masculine and feminine characteristics. So we know that masculine is more for the man and feminine is more for the woman. Both sex have both characteristics. So there's women, like I explained in my first video about when I started my feminine journey, I learned that I had a lot of masculine characteristics within me. I still had feminine, but my masculine dominated those feminine characteristics. And there are men who have masculine and feminine characteristics. They just allow their masculine to, you know, take over, and some men, they allow their feminine characteristics to take over more. So everybody has both. But in this video, I want to talk to you about some masculine characteristics that even if you have them, of course you can't get rid of them, but you can learn to control them for the sake of your love life. So the first masculine characteristic that I want you guys, or I would suggest for you guys to let go of, is control. I know. This one, we starting off with a bang, okay? We're starting off jumping straight in. Control. And what I mean by control is you need to know every detail. You want to know everything. You need to be involved in everything. You got to see everything through. You just want to make sure that you're 10 steps ahead. But the problem with that is that if you're in control, how is your man supposed to be in control? When you're in control, you're basically leading the situation, leading the household, leading the union. And if you're leading your union or you're leading your marriage, how is he supposed to lead it? So now it's a power battle because you're trying to be in control and he's trying to be in control, but God called him to be in control. God called you to submit. So this is a masculine characteristic that being in control, it comes from a very independent person where you want to be in control. You want to be, you know, knowing what's going on, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's understanding when to put that in the forefront and when to lay back with it. When it comes to your kids, of course, be in control. Make sure everything is on time. Make sure they have everything in order. If you're at work and you have a superior position, make sure you're in control and everything, but know when to take that hat off and allow your significant other or your spouse to be the head that God created him to be. So one masculine characteristic that I would suggest to either remove or just get a hold of is needing to be in control and needing to know everything. You don't need to know everything. If you listen to the Christian Bae podcast, in one episode in the Christian Bae podcast, I talked about Joseph and Mary, and I talked about how Mary knew that she was pregnant from the Holy Spirit, but God gave the visions to Joseph, and it wasn't Mary that knew when it was time to pack up and move. It wasn't Mary that knew where they were supposed to go. God gave the vision to the man because God created man to be the head. God created man to be in charge. If the man is the head, we are the neck there to support the head and sometimes tell it which way to turn, but the head is still the head. So the first masculine characteristic that I would suggest to get rid of or just get under control and know when to turn it on and when to turn it off is control, and needing to be in control and needing to know everything and every detail, because that's not your role. And I know it's not easy. It wasn't easy for me, but it's so worth it. And it also shows your significant other that you trust their decision making, you trust them to lead you, you trust them to be your head. And nothing makes a man want to stand up and be that more than knowing that someone is trusting them to be that. You know how, like, a perfect example would be like if you were trying out for the cheerleading team and your mom was like, I know you're gonna make it, I know you're gonna make it, I know you're gonna make it. You gonna show out in them tryouts because my mama at home believing in me, my mama at home saying I'm gonna make it, I gotta make it. Now that trust, it drives something in you, and you want your significant other to be driven by trusting you and trust and knowing that you trust them to lead and be in control and to make decisions that align with the word of God, which is why it's so important to be equally yoked in your relationship and in your marriage. But that's a separate video. Comment below if you want me to make that video. Moving on to the second masculine characteristic that I would suggest to let go of, or to just get it under control. There goes that control word. To get a hold of it, okay? To know when to turn it on and turn it off. And that would be your language and your tone. Now this was y'all, I had to work on this one. I had to work on this one. And what makes it so hard for me is that my husband also reads body language. So it's just like, even if my language and my tone not off, if I'm like this or like, he's reading all of that. So it's just like, I had to get it off. I had to poker face. Even if you trying to give an attitude, pull it together. I have to pull it together. And you know, watch your language, watch your tone, watch your face, cause y'all know how we do. I ain't even gotta sit. You know I got an attitude. I ain't gotta say I got an attitude, but you know I got an attitude, because we're able to non-verbally do it. So language, tone, and posture. It's not for you to be yelling at the top of your lungs. God did not create you to have to walk around the house or walk around or be in your relationship, be outside on the phone yelling at the top of your tone. You are a lady. You are gentle. You are soft. You are kind. That don't go with yelling. No yelling. I want to challenge you, not, because the thing is, when people yell, is because they feel like they're not being heard, or they simply can't express themselves in the proper way, so they change their tone to try to get out what they're saying. You are educated. You are wise enough to be able to articulate your words and say it in a calm manner. I ain't got to get out of character to say what I need to say. I can say it calmly at this tone. And even if your significant other raises their tone, that doesn't mean that you match them. You keep your tone, you keep your posture, you keep the position that God has called you to live in. Because once they get out of their position, they begin to raise their tone, then God will deal with them. But if you get out of your position and now you're yelling and they're yelling, it makes them feel like they have a reason to yell, because you yelled at me, but you yelled at me, and now everybody's just yelling. You keep your tone and you watch your language. Make sure you don't say anything that you're gonna regret, or say anything that you know you can't take back, which goes back to control. Control yourself. Don't try to control the union. Don't try to control the whole house. Control you, so that you can be disciplined. That's what I mean by knowing when to switch it on and switch it off. In this situation, when it comes to your language and your tone and your posture, it's important to control it and know that I'm not going to allow my flesh to get me to act in a way that doesn't align with who God is calling me to be. And also, if you're dating someone that, or even friends with somebody that continuously pushes you to that point, decrease the time you spend with them. You don't have to spend time with nobody that has you acting out of character and being something that God wouldn't be proud of. Would you do that in front of God? Would you make that type of phone call in front of God? Would you talk in that tone in front of God? Would you talk with that language in front of God? Because he's watching. So if you're around people that pull that side out of you, pull out from hanging with them that often, because that is not you. You are a woman of God. You are a woman of value. You are a woman of stature. You are a gem. That's what the word says. You're more precious than gems. We have to live according to this, and we must carry ourselves as such. So control your language, your tone, and your posture. Period. At all times, you want your language, your tone, and your posture to align with what God's word says, so that God can move. God can't correct your husband if you keep getting out of position. God can't move you and make you have new friends if you keep acting like your old friends was acting. You must be in position so that he can bring people around you that honor the position that he's called you to. Language, tone, and posture. Control it. That's when you need to be in control. Be in control of you, not nobody else but you and your kids. If you got kids, be in control of them too. But other than that, know when to switch it on and off. The third masculine characteristic that I would suggest to get rid of is detachment. Let's talk about it, because social media is specifically TikTok, talks about detachment as if it's some prized characteristic, when really it's just people walking around being loveless. And I mean, feel free to give me your perspective in the comments. I love having these type of conversations and seeing other people's perspective. I'm not by any means saying that I'm 100% correct. I'm just speaking based on what I've experienced and my perspective. So I would love to hear you guys' perspective. But as far as purposely being detached when it comes to a relationship, a union, or especially a marriage, social media makes it seem like it's cool. I've seen like dating TikToks that talk about text them and act like you're in love, then don't text them for 3 days. Yeah, this gonna have him hooked. Look, if you gotta do all that, forget it. Forget it. It's too much. Because we're already starting off wrong. This little back and forth game. I'm not in middle school. I'm not doing this with you. We're not doing this. No, all of that TikTok advice, get off of it. Cut it out. Because you're gonna be just like them on TikTok. Everybody that be on TikTok giving advice ain't even got a man or ain't even married. So where's this advice leading to? I'm just saying. And that's why I never wanted to be that person, because it be capped on the apps. I promise you, it be capped. And the advice they be giving, they be making it up. Because if it worked, why it ain't work for you? What? 1 + 1 not equaling 2. So the detachment that social media is trying to push you to have, that ain't it. Now, I will say that detachment is healthy in certain situations, like we talked about with the last point, where I said detach yourself from people who cause you to act out of character or act in a way that's not pleasing to God. In that situation, you must, too much of anything is bad, but knowing the right amount is good. So there's nothing wrong with detachment, but purposely detaching in a situation where you know that you really have feelings for this person, or you're just trying to play games, that's not cool. Because then how do you expect to find anything real when you start off by playing games? The detachment that women try to do is I'm playing hard to get, I don't want you to know that I like you, I don't want you to know that I'm feeling you. And that's a masculine characteristic, because it goes with pride and ego. The man that God has for you ain't gonna play about you. It ain't no other way to put it. It's no other way to put it. The man that God has for you, he's not gonna play about you, and he not gonna want you to come in playing either. Think about it, do you want him playing games? If the man that you're interested in, the man that you like, or the man that you want to pursue, if he wants to talk to you, do you want him to call you? If he wants to text you, do you want him to text you? Or do you want him to say, I gotta wait 3 days, I don't want her to know I like? Grow up. Like for real, grow up. Because it's 2022. Stop. Just stop. Purposely detaching to hide your feelings. That's the detachment I'm talking about. Now, if you're literally outgrown that person, God has shown you a sign that you're not supposed to be there, by all means, detach in whatever way you need to in order to get in alignment with what God is telling you to do. But if you're doing it to play a game, you're stroking your ego, you're stroking your pride, and that's a masculine characteristic. That's not attractive. And the chase may be cute up front, because I was the girl that I could give a chase. I can relate. It's cool, but it's kiddie. It needs to be left on the playground. So if you're somebody and you're not, you're 18, 19, you're not looking for marriage, you're not looking for anything serious, then maybe, keep playing that game. Keep playing the 3-day hard to get game. But if you know that you're praying to God and you're asking for a significant other, you're asking for a spouse, you're asking for the family, the marriage, the kids, let go of this detachment characteristic and be honest. That's what this generation lacks so much. Being honest in your feelings is okay. If you like that person, it's okay. If you want to talk to them, it's okay. If you want to text them, it's okay. It's okay to show emotion. I know that social media makes it seem like you not city girls down 1,000 points if you and your stand up. Everybody gonna be standing up lonely real soon. Everybody gonna be standing up lonely while I'm sitting down cuddling. Because what? Stand up. That's like, it's promoting singleness. And if that's what you're interested in, that's fine. But if you know deep in your heart you're praying to God and you're believing God for much more, for marriage, the kids, that's your end goal, start being honest with your feelings now. Because at the end of the day, if you're honest with your feelings and the person pushes away, or he detaches himself for you, or she rejects you because she feels like you're too forward, that just means that he or she is not the person for you. Period. They're not the person for you. If you're a man and she rejects you, she's not the person for you. If you're a woman and he rejects you, he's not the person for you. And it's better for you to find out sooner than later. Don't let you don't need your feelings to get any deeper involved than they already is. Peace, bye. If my feelings too much, then go find less. That's okay. But I feel like so many people overlook these things, or end up in these situations that don't end well because you play games in the beginning, and then when you get in your feelings in the middle, the real you come out, and now it's confusing because they always wanted you to be detached. They always wanted you to play games. They always wanted you to go to 3 days, but now you sick after an hour not speaking to them. You shouldn't have started it in the beginning. In the beginning, let them know I'm clingy. I want to talk every hour. I'm very affectionate, and if they don't reciprocate that or respect that, they are not the one for you, and that is okay. But it's better to find out sooner than later, because who got time to waste? Nobody. So that purposely trying to detach yourself and act like you tough and macho, and you can act like one of the guys, and girl, if you be in your feelings, you be in your feelings, and that's fine, because God gonna send you a man that appreciate all of them feels. You know what I mean? So those are my 3 masculine characteristics that I feel like every woman should practice letting go of and stepping away from, and learning how to shift it on and shift it. I don't want to say control. Learning how to shift it on and ship it off. Ship it. You might need to ship it away. Learning how to shift it on and shift it off. And that is control. Needing to control everything. Language, tone, and posture. That's something you need to control. And also detachment. If your language, tone, and posture is loud and needing to take the lead and needing to have your way, let that go. That fake detachment, you're not in your feelings, but you really is in your feelings, and you, God help me, sliding down the wall, Summer Walker, let that go and be honest in your feelings. Be honest about your emotions. Be an honest woman, a woman of integrity. And guess what? I own up to what I feel, and if you don't respect it and receive it and reciprocate it, I'm gonna remove you. And that's just what it is. That must be your posture. That is what I want. Like, I tweeted about this on earlier this week. I tweeted something, and I was like, it's heartbreaking to see how many women talk downly or negatively about Valentine's Day because they've never had one. And it's just like, so many women say they've never had a good Valentine's Day, or they never had a Valentine's Day situation, or you know something special to happen for them on Valentine's Day. But then there are so many situationships, sneaky links, and entanglements, and it's just like, how you got all these but then they skipping over this day? And it's because of these games that are being played. It's also because of women not understanding their value and their worth. And I ended the tweet and I said, your presence is a privilege. And that's how I want to end this video. Your presence is a privilege to whoever gets access to you, and you must carry yourself as such. And a part of carrying yourself as such is also making sure you don't allow these masculine characteristics, like raising your voice, cursing, getting out of character, trying to control everything, trying to be the lead, trying to be the head, trying to be the man, trying to act like you don't care when you really do care. It's not a privilege to be in the presence of that. I can't even get it out. It's not a privilege to be in the presence of somebody that act like that. It's a privilege to be in the presence of somebody that's peaceful, that's very poised, that knows who they are, that does not have to raise their voice, that does not have to curse, that does not have to get loud. It's just a certain level of confidence that comes with calmness. And that is what I want for all of you guys. And I'm not saying this to you guys as if I've mastered it and I'm just perfect at it. We're on this journey together, and I'm seeing results from it, and I would love to continue to share it with you guys. So leave in the comments any other videos that you would like to see, any other topics that you want me to talk about, and I'll make the video. I pray that this video blessed you guys. If you guys would like me to talk about some more masculine characteristics to let go of, or some feminine characteristics to have, leave that in the comments. Any relationship, love, marriage videos that you would like to see, leave it in the comments, and I will make it for you guys. It is love month. I love you guys so much, and I'm so excited to continue this journey together. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you turn on the bell notification. Give this video a big thumbs up, okay? and come back for the next video. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be a good one. I love y'all. Bye.